Welcome to the third episode where we're looking at some common misconceptions when we read the Bible. And today we're looking again at the Last Supper, but this time from the Gospel according to John. After saying this, Jesus was troubled in spirit and declared, "Very truly I tell you, one of you will betray me." The disciples looked at one another, uncertain of whom he was speaking. One of his disciples, the one whom Jesus loved, was reclining next to him. Simon Peter therefore motioned to him to ask Jesus of whom he was speaking. So while he was reclining next to Jesus, he asked him, "Lord, who is it?" I think it's worth saying in some translations it says, while leaning on Jesus' chest, he asked him. And I know that certain authors have gone to town with this and implied something more than just friendship between Jesus and the disciple he loved. Are we missing something here if we look at it through Western eyes?
Yes, you are. The misconception here is the intimacy between men in the Middle East. It is very common, it's very normal for men to walk in the Middle East hand in hand, arm in arm. For 6 years, I remember, I went to school with my dear friend Walid, who was my neighbor also and my dear friend. And we walked from home to the school every single day, arm in arm. So that would have been unthinkable in the West. But before we jump into conclusions about the relationship between Jesus and John, we have to understand this kind of intimacy, which is very normal. And also the word intimacy in the Middle East does not at all mean necessarily sexual intimacy. Because of that, if we take the text and look at it from the textual culture, from the culture of the Middle East, we see that this closeness between Jesus and John was absolutely normal. Every one of us, men in the Middle East, we must have an intimate friend. It's kind of a cultural must.
An intimate male friend.
Male friend, absolutely. We all have a specific friend who is a bit closer than everybody else. And this unique quality of the relationships in the Middle East explains this text, so that in the West, let's calm down and not jump in our imagination and start interpreting the text right, left, and center without going back to the original culture and then try to understand the relationship today in our culture today.
So yet again, it's the peril of seeing Jesus as a 21st century Western man living in the West, and then we're interpreting what's happening totally wrongly.
We need to understand Jesus Christ, the man of his time, the first century AD, where and when he lived and what kind of culture surrounded him and he belonged to.